Today we're going to get into the close-up magic of Johnny Paul. Before we looked at the stand-up magic and the cabaret act is the way he referred to it. So today we're going to get into more of probably what Johnny was more known for, which is the close-up magic, because he's one of he claims to be the first bar magician, and this is definitely the kind of thing you would see if you were sitting in a bar and watching Johnny do his work. So without further ado, let's get into this thing and take a look at some of this close-up magic here of Johnny Paul.
Love that white jacket.
It's a good dinner coat, right? All right, here we go.
A little trick here that I do with a napkin and I'll have right here. I'll use that in a minute. I'm going to shuffle them.
Get him another scotch.
I like that.
Oh!
Okay. I want you to pick out a card. Just one card. Show it to the camera. I have here. Oh, here. Would you open that up, please? Now you have to remember that card. Thank you. Tear the card in half. Tear it in half. H-A-F-F, half.
Okay.
4 pieces. 8 pieces. You're on a tear. Put them face down one pile right here. But you have to remember the card.
I remember.
You forgot.
No, I remember.
Take a little piece for a souvenir, just one piece. Now, does this show what it is?
Yep.
Now, what I do is place the cards in the corner here, the pieces. And I'm going to make a few incantations and say a few magic words, and the pieces will disappear. Oh, boy, that's good. Watch. Pieces disappear. Pieces disappear. Pieces disappear. Now you have to hit it like that and say, pieces disappear.
Pieces disappear.
Oh, you don't have to actually, just that helps. We'll see if the pieces have disappeared. Open it up.
I think they're still there.
Open up. Show everybody that there are no pieces but that one. Now wait. See if that piece fits the corner perfectly.
It does.
Show everybody. Turn it around. Yeah. See, it fits perfectly. Hot diggity. And I don't know how it's done either.
It's a neat little handling of that.
Aspect of that is totally awesome, right?
Yeah, it's a neat little handling.
It's sort of like the clean opening. I sort of like that super clean stuff, and I'm sure could have been any corner, felt like it. Absolutely wonderful. After that point, I started to lose thread a little bit. Did she wrap it up in a bundle and then he pounded it back and forth a few times? Is that what happened?
He wrapped up those pieces. He pounded the thing, had her pound the thing, and then the pieces were supposed to disappear, but the surprise is that they're restored inside the napkin.
Ah, so the idea, it was set up like they were all going to disappear.
That's
Right.
correct.
Okay.
I think that's a pretty great presentation for the torn and restored card myself.
Is that in the book? Is that in
I don't know. I'd never seen it before this. I think that's
Yeah.
pretty
I've
great.
never seen that, and I've seen him before. I've never seen that.
Yeah, it's really cool. It's a really cool way to do the thing. I think there's a lot of smoke around it that makes that torn and restored trick a little bit stronger,
Mm-hmm.
Rewind it to the actual
Yeah.
money sequence. I just want to watch the final wrapping up and the pounding.
Absolutely.
I
Let's
just
do.
want to watch the part where clearly there was no method to see.
And I think we're back about here. All right, here we go.
Nice pre-folded napkin. ready to go.
Pieces disappear. Pieces disappear. Pieces disappear. Now you have to hit it like that and say pieces disappear.
Simplicity itself.
Oh, you don't have to actually. Just that helps. We'll see if the
Take it back
pieces
and
have
put-
disappeared. Open it up.
Let's just see if we can watch that. Let's see right where it was. It wasn't so hard to miss.
You're talking about when he steals the napkin away. You want to see?
When he literally switches the napkin for the other.
Watch.
Okay.
Pieces disappear.
Something in that right hand.
Pieces
It's right about here.
disappear.
Right there.
Pieces
Done.
disappear.
You just
Now
whip
you
it
have
off
to
the
hit it like
front.
that.
It's almost
And
like
say
a little
pieces
hand
disappear.
shake, right? He
Disappear.
tosses,
Oh, you don't have to act.
tosses it into his. It was almost like he hangs again that thing a little bit.
Almost.
You know what was kind of cool about that was the actual bringing forward of the other packet is the misdirection for the ditch.
Hmm.
You know, so and it's pretty straightforward. The first time I kind of missed it. I thought he went with something else, but you know.
And to your point there, I think all of it is that, right? If you don't know what's coming with that whole trick, it's going to smoke you because he's telling you the pieces are going to vanish and you're looking for when's he going to steal them out of that napkin, what's going to happen, what's happening.
Mhm.
That torn and restored part of it just comes around and just sort of smacks you in the head because it's so unexpected. Really.
And then
great.
when he does the add-on, when he's moving it to the corner, you know, before he has her.
Yeah, he totally adds that piece from the other card on there.
Yeah.
Go ahead and take it.
That was my favorite moment of the whole thing.
Yeah.
Very
Yeah.
delicate.
This is the kind of thing we could totally reconstruct for a Wednesday night, and I think everyone. would
Sure.
love it. It's an easy,
Okay.
It's a great handling.
easy thing to do. You know, you just stick it in your hand. You're ready to go. You know, you just need a duplicate card, right? And you know, Johnny Paul is a guy. He was going to get maximum leverage out of that classic force. So in his case, just having that duplicate set and ready to go with the corner machine, right? All he's going to have to do is, you think no one's ever going to, even though like he's breaking the rules, right? He's doing it so well. You know, they say you're not really supposed to be demonstrating your key sleights over and over and over again, but you know, I guarantee you that after doing it 5 times in the show, he's going to come there. He's going to say, pick a card. You're going to feel it was a totally free selection. It's going to feel like a free selection. And it takes all of the stuff like this and makes it so much stronger. You know what I mean? Because there's so much clarity on the moment of the force. Absolutely wonderful. Let's see another one.
Yeah, let's get into this next one. This one's a little bit more of a classical type effect. So let's let me pull this up here. We'll take a look at Johnny Paul doing a little bit more with the napkin here.
Okay, I have another deck of cards here.
Load up.
I'm going to use this little, I call this my letter opener trick. My letter opener trick. Well, the heck with it. Oh, it's right here. See,
Why are the people in the background laughing? They can't
some are
see.
red, some are
It's
black,
what
some are
Twin Cities is
green.
all about, bro.
It's what they got paid for.
And I'm going to let you shuffle them.
Okay.
Oh, you're good. Yeah, that's a good one. Okay. That's good. Do you play cards? Gin?
Yeah.
I don't like gin. Vodka. Okay. Now you shuffle them. I want you to pick out a card. Just pick out one card. Look, take one. Look at it. And now lay it down. Now we have a duplicate of that card in this deck here, see, except that these cards are red back. These are called blue back cards, see? The color is different, see? Now there's a duplicate of that card in here, see? But I'm going to shuffle them and make sure you don't find it too easily, and then I'll shuffle them like this, see? What I'm going to do now to make it difficult to find, I'm going to wrap these cards in this little napkin, see, like this. Now, I'm going to use a little hypnosis on you. I want you to concentrate on that card, hold this sharp instrument, and what I'm going to ask you to do after I hypnotize you is somewhere in the deck is your card. I want you to concentrate on the card, and I want you to run that little sharp instrument in the middle so you don't hit me in the, stab me in the thumb or finger, see? Okay. I have no fault insurance. And I don't like the sight of blood, especially mine. Now, concentrate on your card. Now, all the way through. All the way through. Now, all I do is remove the paper from the cards like this. Not disturbing the knife at all. Now, turn your card over. 6 of spades. Let's see how good you can. Are there any questions?
I got a quick question for you guys. You guys are professional magicians. I would love your point of view about this. I always kind of, when we think of the card stab, there's basically 2 types of card stab that come to mind. There's this kind of card stab, and then there's when we think of Malini, and that's like the stabbing the table in the hole, and that's a vavoom, right? I think we can see theatrically what that's all about.
Mm-hmm.
What do you all think the actual appeal is of your, what I will call your table knife card stab? In your experience, does it have some impact? Have you worked with it? And what's your?
I have, and it's magic, but it's a different kind of magic because I think it leads more towards, how we were talking about
stunt.
Well, we were talking about the idea that like Whit Hayden was talking about some of his card effects, that sometimes the effect is he can do anything with cards, right? I think that kind of effect leads to that point of view. You can do anything with cards because they're stabbing in the middle of the deck and it's like it changes to the card, but it's weird. I mean, it's a weird silence you get. And I think it's because it stuns them so hard. Like they have to sit with how is this? How?
Are you think the effect clearly is not that they put it right next to the card?
No, the effect is that. And they're just thinking, how is that physically possible that I could have stabbed right next to my card? Or did he change that card and make it into my card? Then it's like that magical moment and conundrum is like happening when at that moment of revelation. You know what I mean?
Steve?
I kind of look at it like it's the ultimate spectator does the magic. You know what I mean? It's the ultimate, they do it. So the question I would think is left in their mind is, how did I just do that? I just stuck it wherever I wanted, right? And so I see what you're saying, Alex, and that's, you can do stuff that's too strong.
Do you feel like it's got a certain mystery into it where the deck is obscure and it sort of is framed up more like what we might call a good mental? There's some of these card tricks, like when we're talking about the card across or something, a lot of them have a little bit of a different frame on them where it's a little easier to buy them as not a card trick.
Right. It's like mental magic. It's not straight mentalism. It's like mental magic. And it's like blurring those 2 lines.
I think this totally doesn't look like a card trick.
Almost like sensational perception, almost like a memory demonstration, or any effect that feels more plausible. I mean, it's got a plausible.
Right. It could happen. It could actually happen. Right. Exactly.
Even though it couldn't.
Right.
Yeah, right.
It could, right?
Yeah.
Do you think that, remember the old bullet trick?
Mm-hmm.
That I think I found it in the Frank Garcia book.
Yeah, sure.
Who thinks that trick is the same category?
I don't know that trick.
That
never felt like that. That didn't feel like the same category to me.
Gun out of a trick with the Pharaoh Shuffle. You make a gun out of a card and then you spades in, and then you push it
shoots out. Yeah.
That one card. I'm asking you, do you guys feel like that trick transcends in any way? I'm only trying to think about effects that are of a similar nature. And of course, when we think about the business card stabs and we think about the prophecy.
But I think that this napkin aspect to it, or a piece of paper around the deck, it makes it into something bigger than it is. You know what I mean? It's like I'm going to isolate this in this acrylic box up above the stage. You know, it's like it like adds a whole other element to the effect because you're wrapping the thing and it's not a card trick anymore. You know what I mean? And I think that just that very nature of it, it elevates it to something different than the bullet trick.
In the same way, placing our cards inside a glass might do it before our
Absolutely. Absolutely.
It's interesting. You know, Newell's point here is that two of the greats did it, and that's kind of what I'm getting at is we're looking at a trick where it pays us to assume that it's got something for it going on. You know, when we start seeing guys who we really admire and respect really loving a trick, I think it pays to start thinking about why, you know, because there's often more to it than meets the eye. And I think your point, we've often found, I mean, I do primarily card tricks when I work. So any little thing, whether it's a wand or a lighter or any
something to just elevate it above and beyond what the other stuff is.
An interesting talisman instead of or salt, anything that allows you to bring in a new piece of information. Ooh. Like an experiment. You have your deck of cards, but in this we need, you know, 8,000.
And for the spectators, I mean, that's how they remember it, because to them it's a bunch of card tricks, but now it becomes, well, they did that one with the napkin and the knife, right? It's not a card trick anymore. It's the napkin and the knife trick. You know what I mean? Because they remember that other aspect and it differentiates it from the other stuff. And the, you know, the miraculous nature of the trick, the impossible nature of the trick, right? Obviously that has to be there with a good magic trick, but it elevates it. It makes it something different, I think.
It does have a beautiful hands-off feeling to it. You know?
Yeah, it sure does.
And there's definitely this we all find out at the same time vibe to it.
And him ripping away the paper, there's no way he could be doing anything, and then he just lifts it right at that spot, and then it's impossible. And how, you know? Yeah, really good.
Brings us back to the old David Copperfield. Remember we had the aesthetics discussion about how we all came home to see the David Copperfield walk through the Great Wall. And there were different bits of response to how we felt about looking at the canopy. You know?
Right.
Picture of a guy in a wall in our mind. And then we come to see it, and there's this incredibly fair, but there's this draping. There's this draping.
A big platform he's standing on before he goes into that wall.
Yeah, and then there's
get in the right spot.
But he's got to get the right spot, and they're not going to show you how he does it. They're going to show you the shadow as he. Yeah.
I sort of remember when I watched it feeling like it made the trick stronger in the end. At the end, I ended up. To me, I'm just telling you what I felt as a boy. I remember watching it, had them really pinpointing the moment of the effect and the focusing the attention.
Oh, and then they also hear him in the wall. Like they have the stethoscope and they're hearing his heartbeat through the bricks. There's a whole moment when he's in the wall, right?
But at the end of the day, boom, there he is. There's no opportunity. It's not like he appears in a shroud and they pull it off the shroud and it's him. There's no, like, he's there. And I sort of feel like at the end, when you get to the reveal on this knife trick, it's very similar. It's, you know, it's boom, everyone rips it all away. And then you can, at that point, have them, not really, but it feels as though they could just come over and lift it off themselves. You know what I mean?
You know what I like about this effect? And it's fairly obvious, but this is like what I call like that 1940s tabletop card magic kind of stuff, like the Scarney books and all that stuff, where if you had a deck of cards, you know, there were 1,000
doing, you know.
What's that? What's it?
Harry Lorraine, what you picture, supper club table work.
Yeah, but I mean, like, it's like a knife and a napkin. It's like, I used to read those books when I was a kid, always imagine everyone sitting around smoking cigarettes after dinner, and some guy's just like, give me that napkin, give me that, you know what I mean?
A little bit of that.
Yeah, and it really fits him. You know what I mean? Like, it fits him, like who he is and who his character is and where he performs, that it would be logical for him as a bar magician, essentially, that give me a dinner knife, give me a napkin, let me show you something cool, right? That kind of a thing. But that's a funny thing about us as magicians, right? We'll know some guys are happy to know one card step, right? They just know the one, and that's their one, and that's it. But then there's the others of us who will like need to know every card stab that was ever created.
Are you a card stab guy? You know all the card stabs?
No, I don't. But I'm just saying, you know what I mean? It's like some guys have to know. And I think Johnny just knows this one. You know what I mean? This is the one, and he learned it when he was a kid. And I don't know if it's true, but
Notable that he has that big knife.
yes.
Now, as I understand, the methods I know for this all work perfectly well with a table knife. And in fact, that's considered to be,
A butter knife, yeah.
that's a selling point.
Mhm.
I wonder if we got to see all of the business with the knife, because I sort of feel like when he brought a prop knife, either that or that's, the knife he would use for abductions. And
He looks like the type.
you know what I mean? Just kidding, of course.
Johnny looks like the type to pull off an abduction.
So now this
You
is
get away with it.
exciting because we get, as a big finisher, we get to see the cups and balls routine, don't we?
This is
This is cool. This
is
really
the thing right here.
Yeah.
All this is window dressing.
agreed. Yeah, this is where it's at. This is gonna
Watch your ears, kids. Johnny
yeah.
Paul is going to be involving some 3 balls. So
He's
good luck.
gritty. He's gritty.
there's definitely some grit on this.
Yeah, there's some grit on this, but
So far,
Now I would like to show you my cup and ball trick. This is a routine that I originated a long time ago. I admit I bought the trick from a magic shop, and I forgot. I didn't forget. I lost the instructions, so I worked out my own routine. Now, very seldom does a magician let you examine the props. I do. You examine that. You examine that. And sir, would you examine that? And would you examine that? And you can show it to the camera. Just show it to them like that. You can examine it too. They're made of a new metal called thulium. Thulium.
I like that.
Now, we have 2 sponge balls, 3 empty cups. Now, this is not part of the trick. I just want to show off a little juggling that I do. Thank you. That's the first time I missed it again. Empty, what? There, I did it. I did it. 3 empty cups. And they're solid, see? And they go right through each other like this. See? This goes right through. See, nobody sleeps when I work. Now that wasn't a part of the trick. This is the trick. You place the ball on top, and you command the ball to go penetrate the cup and appear underneath. Now, that's impossible. A solid won't go through a solid unless unless you're a magician. See? Ball, go right through the bottom. 1, 2, go through the cup. Sip. Now, this time, using 2 cups. 1, 2, 3. Cup is placed on there. We've got 2 cups and 1 ball. Watch it go right through. 1, 2, goes right through. 3, 4, open the door. 5, 6. Now, that took years of practice, but now this is the hard one. This is the hard part of the trick. This empty cup is placed over here, like that. This one placed over down, boy. Bow down. Now we have 1 here and 1 here. See? Now, ball, I want you to go to the other cup. Go. The ball has disappeared from here, and over here are 2 of them. Now here's the hard part. Ball, go back. So we have 1 here and 1 here. Was that too fast? Do it again. Watch. 1, 2, goes right. Go to that cup there. Right. Ball. Go. There it is. I did it. You're supposed to say, where's the other one?
Where's the other ball?
It's right here. All right. I want you to examine the cup first. Place the cup over the ball. Make sure that's empty. Put your finger inside if you want. No secret compartments and no false bottoms. All right? Nothing. Hold this one in your hand. Close your hand. Put your hand on top just like that. Now hold tight. Now, watch. Did you look inside? The ball will disappear from there and appear in here. Put your hand on top. Now, I want you to say go.
Go.
Go. It's gone from here. It's not here. But you say appear under here.
Appear under here.
Lift it up. Now, the hard part. That's empty. That's empty. Put your hand back on top like that.
Okay.
Now you say go.
Go.
And lift it up slowly like this.
Ah.
Now you say come back under here.
Come back under here.
Now look, see, there it is. Wait a minute.
And under there.
Come back under here. You have yours? Oh. You know, it's all you need to do is take an empty cup like that, and you take a little ball like this, and you hit it. You hit it like this. See? Well, you actually don't have to hit it that hard. See, you just kind of. Well, you don't even have to do that. See. What I'm using is misdirection. Misdirection. One hand gets you to watch what I'm doing, and the other one does some trickery. See. Now I go like this. It's under here. Not. It's not in this hand. Not in this hand. Not in either hand. And it's not under here. In my pocket. No, it's not. It's under here. Put your finger inside. It's empty. Show it to the camera. Now, put your hand on top of the cup, right there. Now watch. On top of the ball. Put your hand. Now I'm going to remove the ball and put it through your hand again. 1, 2 goes right through. 1, 2 goes right through. Hey, that's a good trick. 1, 2 goes right through. 1, 2 goes right through. This takes time. Now the ball should be underneath the cup. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much.
And there we are, folks. Johnny Paul's Cups and Balls. A lot of interesting ideas in there, man.
Yeah. It's also interesting that I've never seen a lot of people kind of, I don't want to say rip that off, but do it. Like I haven't seen like a lot of Johnny Paul cups floating around in the world, even though they were made by Stevens, I think.
Check out Tom Mullica's routine in his book.
Oh, does he do it?
Yeah, it's very
Sorry,
similar.
I didn't know.
He calls it like rouge and I don't remember what he calls it, like cups.
Rouge on a pig? That would
rouge
be
and, no, rouge and cups, or I don't remember. There's a great routine in there, but he uses a lot of that methodology, because if you look at that routine, like he's using like steals you would use for like the pea and shell game, right, to get ahead, right?
Yeah.
You know, there's just a lot of different technology than you normally see associated with the cups and balls, and then
it's great.
And then you get that sponge ball aspect, right? So you can have that moment where it appears in their hand, and you know, the going through the hand. There's a lot of things you can play with by using sponge balls as the balls for the cups and balls. I think it's really, really a neat idea. And you can just bust off into sponge balls anytime you want.
Right. Right.
Because what it's got is what we normally associate to be the Benson bowl type concept.
That's right.
Mm-hmm.
But then it becomes several Benson bowls, right? Yeah, you're right. Totally.
Lost the bowl, kept the sponge ball stuff, and leveraged it pretty wonderfully. And interesting choice, though, to get rid of the other two loads, clean up the cups, and sort of go down to one, and then get max impact on that one front load.
Right.
But certainly an interesting choice. I mean, as a cup and ball worker, you just look to you just like another viable choice, like when there's only one lemon about.
I don't know about, but at the same time, you know, I haven't tried it, and I don't know what you can get out of that moment. To me, it just seems like there's a lot of ideas that are interesting to play with and incorporate into other routines. I don't know that I would do this routine as written or as presented, but there's definitely things in there that I would want to experiment with and other routines, and really experiment with that type of cup, getting the basic idea of like what a chop cup would do, but out of a non-gaffed cup and a non-gaffed ball. That's a pretty sexy idea, you know what I mean? So there's a lot of stuff in there that's worth working with, and see if there's something that can be borrowed and put somewhere else to strengthen something else, you know what I mean? And I think that's how you find new things, just by playing. And this one definitely seems like there's a lot of things to play with.